I am now. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Okay. So now we are recording, and if you are watching this later, you were just with us. We are on our entry event note taker. It is under checkpoint one on Summit. You can find it right here. Okay. And we have filled out the first two, and now we are talking about our family tree definition, which we said is a diagram in the shape of a tree showing a family's relation or genealogy. Okay, if I can spell genealogy correctly. I think I did. Just changed it. All right. So, and Kalia has joined us. Welcome. All right, y'all. So then, what we're gonna do today, all right, is I gotta find the right PowerPoint here. All right, is we are gonna look at some examples of family trees, okay, and kind of see how they work and uh, why they're going to be important to the story that we're going to read. All right. So, uh, has anyone ever um, done anything with a family tree before in their own family? Like, has anyone ever done that kind of research, or maybe some of your other relatives have done it, like for a family reunion or anything like that? Or have you done like Ancestry.com or 23andMe? Um, has anyone ever done their own family tree before? Kira says yes. Oh no, that was for something else. I'm sorry. So, anybody who's done their family tree or some kind of like family like genetic research? Or if you had to maybe at a project in another school had to make your own kind of family tree diagram and trace it back. Anybody who remembers doing anything like that? If you care to share, let us know in the chat or over your mic. Because I can share that I haven't personally done it, but my sisters and I got our dad a gift for Christmas a few years ago to do Ancestry.com and explore our dad's side of the family. And so they were able to trace it all the way back to like our ancestors in Italy and determine like exactly where in Italy we came from. And then what was cool about the one we did is it showed like the other different kind of countries and percentages of different ethnicities that we had. Then it was able to trace like this is the date that that side of the family came over to America, and a lot of cool stuff that we some of it we didn't know before. So that was really cool. I enjoyed looking at that stuff. So nobody else has ever done anything like that, any kind of family tree sort of stuff. All right. If not, that's okay because that's what we're going to talk about today. Good morning, Keon. Oh, we got a bunch of people hopping in here. Talia is with us. Awesome, awesome. Let me get you guys on my attendance real quick. Talia is here. Um, Talia, awesome. Oh, and Alicia. All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw up some different family trees, and we've already kind of talked about this. Those of you who are just joining us, we have the entry event note taker pulled up in Summit like we did last class. You can find that under checkpoint 1 for our class. It should be the second link right here. If you still need the Summit code, if you are not seeing our class, please let me know. And I will throw up the code and get you guys assigned. But I think everybody that's in here right now is assigned, so that shouldn't be an issue. Okay, that's what we are working on getting filled out. And again, if you are getting caught up, or if you are coming in late, you can always come to the Summit Lab, or the recording will be on the YesPhilly YouTube later today. All right. So just let me know how I can assist you in getting this caught up. Right. But we already talked about what is a family tree. We've kind of given our diagram, our definition. Family tree is a diagram that shows the relationships between members of a family throughout generations is the important part. And some things to remember here, that family trees come in all shapes and sizes, right? Some people know many branches. Some people only know a few. That's okay. Some events like war and slavery have made it very difficult for some people to even be able to trace back. Excuse me. Their lineage to a certain point, because maybe a branch of the family was wiped out during a war, or because of slavery, we don't know. Like now, there's a different last name or something like that. Right? Other people may have difficulty due to adoption, immigration, missing historical documents. Maybe stuff gets lost in a flood, in a fire, when you move, whatever it is. So there's a bunch of different ways and that we can come up with these family trees, a bunch of different ways for them to look when they're all done. So we're going to look at a couple, and as I show these, I want you guys to think about, okay, what stands out about each one, what's unique, what's different than most other family trees you've seen. And then we're going to try and talk about that, and hopefully towards the end of class, we'll move on to the last few things on your note taker where you guys will be thinking about your own family tree, okay? So I encourage you to turn your mics on and answer me verbally, since I can't see the chat while I'm sharing the PowerPoint. So that'll be the best way to kind of do this portion, all right? So here's our first example family tree. So what do we notice about this one? What stands out to you about this family tree? Anyone? Again, like I said, works better for this if you are answering verbally, if you can, since I can't see the chat while I'm sharing. But you should be able to see my screen share of this kind of family tree example. So what do we notice about this one? What stands out to some of us, to any of us, I should say?
The mom missing grandparents.
Okay, so we're missing stuff up here. And how did you know the mom was missing grandparents? How did you know it was the mom's side?
Um, the key box is a yellow. The yellow boxes equals the mother's side.
Right, exactly. Thank you. So most family trees will have a key like this. That's super important to remember. And that's how we were able to determine, okay, the yellow boxes means the mother's side. So that's how we know, okay, the mom's grandparents, we don't know them. Okay. But you can see on the dad's side, we have both sets, maternal and paternal. Well, actually, those would both be paternal. Sorry. Um, so the other things we have in this key would also be like what the different color lines means. We can see the red lines mean that they're married. The purple lines mean that they're siblings. So that's how we know, okay, great grandpa Arthur marries great grandma Harriet, and they have uh, grandpa Clarence. And then great grandpa Charles marries great grandma Louise. Oh, excuse me. I'm yawning so much. I apologize. And they have grandma Margaret, right? And then they get married and they have Aunt Ann and Dad, who's Steve. So we know their brother and sister. And then Dad marries Mom, who's Miriam, and then she has all of these brothers and sisters. Okay, and then there's me. So we can see sometimes we don't know the names of our family members, but we do the best we can. So that's okay. All right, good job. Here is a second example, right? What stands out to you about this family tree right away? Maybe somebody that we haven't heard from yet this morning. Haven't heard from Gianna lately. I know Kalia just joined us. Kian, haven't heard from you yet. But what do we notice about this family tree? And again, if you can do it verbally rather than in the chat, since I can't see the chat while I share, that'd be the best way to do it this way. But what stands out to us about this example family tree? I'm just checking who else has joined us real quick. Samaj, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. For the first time, I believe, so far this term, but that is a-okay. So those of you who are joining a little bit later or maybe joining for the first time today, we are talking about family trees as we kind of build the background knowledge for the story that we're going to read. You can check out who is that. Just want to see who we have trickling in here. All right, Sanjay. All right, awesome. Welcome, welcome. Again, as I was just saying, if you're coming in late or this is the first time you're coming to class so far this term, we are talking about family trees today because we're building some of the background knowledge for the story that we're going to read, which is called Homegoing, that deals a lot with family tree heritage, different paths to becoming who you are, based on different kind of family histories and things of that nature. So if you want to get caught up, you can check out the video of the class on YouTube. This class will be up there later today, along with the rest of them. And we have also started the afternoon summit labs, like office hours. So I'll be in there from 1 to 3 today. Okay. So back to our example here. All right, we've talked about one example family tree. We notice, okay, there's some names missing. We can see there's a key up here. So those are always going to be important in family trees. They can tell us who's married to who's siblings, stuff like that. So what stands out to us about this example family tree? What do we notice about this one? Tell me over your mic if you can, since I can't see the chat while I share.
They have years.
Okay, yeah, they have the year they're born. That's true. We didn't see that in the last one. What else do we see? What else stands out to you right away when compared to this one? This one, we just have kind of the boxes with their names, right? What do we have with this one? And I would love to hear from somebody I haven't heard from yet so far. Anything that stands out to us with this one? I'm going to check the chat just in case. So no quote unquote homework so far, Samaj. We have been filling out this activity in Summit together in class. I can show everybody how to pull that up in a few minutes after we go through these examples. But no checkpoints have been due yet. Right? If that answers your question, hopefully. All right. But come on, my friends, I know we're alive out there. Who can tell me something else? What else stands out to us about this family tree example? What do we see here, kind of above all the names that we don't usually see on a family tree?
Color coding.
Yeah, color coding or these little symbols, right? So that's because this is called, and you can see by the box down here, this is called a genogram, right? Which displays information through symbols and color coding, such as hereditary patterns and psychological factors in relationships. So notice over here we have Daniel, right? And it shows his adoptive parents, excuse me, and kind of their genealogy as well as the rest of the family, right? So we have grandma, grandmom, and then we have Andre, and we can see, okay, grandpa is the white square, and grandmom has like the kind of half red, half white circle, right? And so now we put those both together for Andre. So he's got kind of like a square shape, but it's kind of half red, half white with the dot in the middle, meaning like, okay, he's comprised of both of these people genetically, right? And then Daniel kind of has like, okay, a little bit of the red, a little bit of the square, but he also has some of the stuff from the, adoptive parents over here. And then we see now we got the blue coming in for Benoit because now we got Pierre over here and Yolanda. And then they have Helene. And so we can see the second marriage. So we can see how they kind of break it down by like genetic code and traits that these people would have, not just who's related to who. Like somebody else pointed out, we also have the years that all these people are born, right? So another way to do a family tree. Okay. Here is our next example. All right. What stands out to us about this example? You can tell me over your mic. You can tell me in the chat if you want. Again, Salam has been killing it, but I would love to hear from some of the rest of us as well, because I know we got a lot of very bright thinkers in here with us this morning. And I know hopefully all of you haven't gone back to sleep. So what do we notice about this family tree example that's different from the other ones we've looked at so far? Do we have different color coding, different type of key, different kind of words or titles that we haven't seen before in the other two examples? What do we think? What stands out to us about this one? Anything from anybody that comes to mind? All right. Again, okay, these are the first two we looked at. Right, and now here we have the color coding and the symbols. So what do we notice that stands out about this one? Has anybody heard or seen these terms before? Once removed, twice removed. Have we heard them before? Do we know what they mean? Has anybody ever heard those terms used before or seen them used before? Once removed, twice removed, second cousin, things like that. Have we ever has it Any of us heard those before? Nobody, not a single soul. Have we all fallen back asleep? Have we all gone deaf or had our Wi-Fi stolen? What's going on this morning, my friends? Not enough coffee. We're just thinking about turkey and stuffing already. Some in the chat. Shannon says, yeah, a little. Well, let's see for the next 20 minutes if we can think about this stuff real quick. And Gianna, since you just answered in the chat, maybe you can help me out. What do we notice? Not that one. What do we notice about this family tree that we haven't seen yet in any of the other ones? And don't forget, there are these kind of little note boxes up here to help you out if you're stuck. What do we notice about this one that we haven't seen in some of the other ones yet? What do we notice over here on the side?
It's the example the example of this family tree can help you with some terms for relatives. Although your family might use different terms, use the ones that are true for you.
Right. So this family tree focuses on not just the relationship, but also like the terms they use. So we see like, okay, here's the great great grandparents, right?
Yeah.
And then like this is the person who is doing the family tree right here, ego, right? Or EGO, whatever it's called. And so we have the children, the grandchildren, and then we can see like by the different color coding, we have first cousins, right? And then it's telling us, okay, this is twice removed, this is once removed, right? So this is kind of a way to figure out what those terms mean, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I always still get confused as to what they mean. That's why it says use the terms that are true for you. Okay. So this would be like the technical terms, like this is your first cousin twice removed or whatever it's called. But those aren't super common. A lot of people don't use those unless it's like a formal thing. But that's kind of what this family tree. And so we've seen three kind of different examples so far. This one's probably kind of the most standard family tree where we have like here's the names, here's how they're related, here's who's brother and sister, right? This is our genogram where we say, okay, these are the traits that everybody shares based on like how they're connected. This one has the official titles, and now we have kind of a real world example, right? I'm sure some of you recognize some of these people. So this would be the Kardashian Jenner family tree. We can see it's kind of laid out pretty much the same way as the first one was, right? So we have Robert Kardashian and Kris Jenner. So they get married and they have kids, which gives us Rob Kardashian, Courtney, Kim, and Khloe. And then they all get married and they have kids. So then we get like Northwest and Saint West from Kim and Kanye. We have Courtney and Scott Disick. They have all these kids. All right. And then we have Kris and Caitlyn Jenner, formerly Bruce Jenner. So they give us Kylie and Kendall. And then Kylie marries Travis Scott. They have Stormy, right? So it's pretty much, our real world example of how we can map up this family tree, right? So how does this relate to the story that we're going to read? What's the point here? Well, on page IX of the book, which they have copied right here, there is this genealogy chart. So this is kind of the family tree of our main characters, right? And we can see how all of this kind of works together. So we can see the plus sign here telling us that these two people got married. All right. And we can see like, okay, here's all these siblings. Here's siblings over here. Each of these lines means like this is this person's child. We can see the M tells us like, okay, this is who they married. So we're going to be coming back to this pretty frequently because the way the story is written, it jumps from different family member to different family member to tell a different part of the story. There's flashbacks, flash forwards, so it can get a little bit confusing. So that's why they have this in the beginning of the book here. Oh, excuse me. So this is going to be something important to look at. All right. What I want us to do now is to take all of the family trees we've looked at and think about our own friends and family community tree. So if you look on your note takers, right, and you scroll down here, okay, we've already filled in part 3A. All right. Defining our own words, what is a family tree? And those of you who are joining for the first time today or joining a little bit late, this is what you want to be getting caught up on. So if you have questions, you can email me. You can come see me in the Summit Lab later today. Right. If you want to work on it individually, the recording of class will be up on the S Philly YouTube later today as well. Okay. But you can see in number 4, says brainstorm a list of people for your tree. Go back and jot down a quick note on how they are related or connected to you. So the last thing we want to do on this note taker is come up with our own family or community tree. Okay, I say community tree because if you don't have that big of an actual family tree, you don't know that many branches of it, and you want to include like your friends or close friends who are like family instead, that's fine too. Whatever you want to do, this is kind of up to you. Whatever you define as your family tree, that's what I want you to put here. So you can see the first part is brainstorm a list of people for your tree. So if I were doing this for myself, right, here is where I would probably write, okay, I have mom, dad, I have my 4 sisters, right? So I have Nikki, Mia, Cindy, and Angela, right? And then I have, okay, some of those sisters have kids, and I would write like some of my nephews. So, okay, I have Chelsea, Riley, all right, et cetera, and I would keep going because I'm trying to think of, all right, these are all the people I would write, okay? And then, like it says, go back and jot down a quick note on how they are related, connected to you. So if you want to make kind of like a little key here, or know in your head, like, okay, this is who's related to who, so on and so forth, okay? Or maybe I could do it this way, right? When I'm writing it down, like, okay, I have mom and dad, all right? And then I hit enter, and then, okay, now I have Mia, and I know her kids are Riley and Lucas, right? And I know she's married to Brian, right? I'm not just making this up. This is my actual family tree. Just some fun facts to share with you guys. So okay, I know. So those are her kids. So I can do it that way if I wanted to help me keep track of like who's related to who has kids, so on and so forth. Okay. And then so that'd be number 4. Number 5, then I would create my key. And like we picked out in this first family tree example, they have keys to tell us how we read the chart. So this is where you want to come up with, okay, this color line means they're married. This color line means they're brother and sister. This color is going to be for this side of the family. This color is going to be for the other person's side of the family. All right. So we want to create our key down here. And then number 6 is to create your tree. All right. So, ladies and gents, this is what I want to see done from you when we come back after break. You can do it on this note taker. You can just kind of type it. If you want to do it on a separate piece of paper, like if you want to get creative with it, I might throw in some extra credit points. So if you would rather like write it out by hand, do it on a bigger piece of paper, that's fine. But uh, this is what I want to see from you. And if it's okay with you, if some of these are really good, I'd love to share some of them. Um, so this is what I want you guys to start thinking about, and we can start this with the rest of the time we have today, which is about a little more than 10 minutes. Um, and I know that because I know this might take a bit because some families are large, some families might not be quite as big, but it'll take a minute to kind of sit down and think about, okay, who all do I have to include, things like that. And then again, like I said, the last piece is making the actual tree, which you can do right on the note taker. If you want to do it somewhere separately and then take a picture and send that to me, you can do it that way as well. Okay. But this is what I want to see done from everybody by the time we come back from break, which will be next Tuesday. All right. So are there? And I'm gonna leave. Uh, I'll leave the first part of this up for a little bit in case people are still jotting that stuff down. Are there questions on this or what we have to do? All right, Gianna says no, thank you. All right, then let's do this, ladies and gents. If you understand what you have to do for the rest of this note taker assignment, the family tree stuff, give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat so that I know you know what you're doing. And then feel free to get started on this. Okay. So I'd like to see one of those responses in the chat from everybody. John, I already got yours because you said there's no questions. So again, give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat if you understand what you need to do for this family tree assignment. So I know everybody knows what's up. And then once I see that in the chat, you can go ahead and get started on this. All right. We got about 10 minutes left. So I'm going to let you guys get started working on this. I'll check back in about 8 minutes or so. Okay. But please, please, please give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat if you understand what we're doing with this family tree assignment here. The more in the chat I see, the more I know you guys are on the same page. I only have one in there so far from Gianna, so I want to see one of those from everybody, hopefully, if I can, to let me know that you guys are all on the same page, or if anybody needs help or isn't sure what's going on. Okay. So again, real quick, you're focusing on this last part of the note taker down here, right, where you are creating your own kind of family or community tree. So we're first thing is to brainstorm a list of people that you're going to include. Remember to take note of how they're related to you, and then we want to create a key so we know how to read the tree you're going to make. Very similar to the key we see right here. And then the last part is to make your actual tree. You can do that right on the note taker. You can do it somewhere separately and then send me a picture of that, right? However you want to do it. Okay. And again, the more detailed, the more creative these are, I may be inclined to award some extra credit points. Okay. So keep that in mind. Right. So again, if you understand everything you need to do, please give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat so I know that you are on track with everything. I just got yours, Kira. Thank you. All right. I'm going to let you guys get started on this, and I will check back in a few. If you have questions, don't be afraid to give me a shout. All right, Salam, I got yours. Thank you, guys. Good job. All right, so I'll check back in a few. Go ahead, get started on this. Thank you, ladies and gents. All right, y'all, just checking back in here. We got about 3 minutes left. So again, just to recap, what I should see from all of you when we come back from break is that note taker sheet completed, including your own kind of family community tree diagram. Again, if you want to do it on like a separate piece, if you want to kind of get into it, get creative with it, that might earn you some extra credit points. All right, which are always good to bank, especially early in the term. So that is what I should see from you when we come back. All right. Remember that we do still have mentoring tomorrow. So please log into your mentoring group at 9 a.m. Remember, it is the same link for that teacher's regular classes as well. One link for every teacher this term. But after mentoring is done, then you guys are good. No afternoon classes tomorrow. So your break starts at 12 tomorrow. I hope everybody stays safe. If you're traveling, please do so safely with all the health and safety protocols advised, and eat lots of good food if you're celebrating, and all that good stuff. Okay. Questions about anything that you guys are supposed to do? All right. Those of you who maybe joined a little bit later, or I'm only seeing for the first time today, remember again, afternoon summit labs have started, so I will be in the lab today from 1 to 3. It is the same link that you use to get to this class. So again, the links don't change. So if you want to see me in there and get caught up with what you've missed from last week, that's fine. I'll also be putting the class recording on the Guest Philly YouTube. So it'll be up there as well if you want to look at that and then work kind of individually. But other than that, you guys should be good. Okay. If there's no last minute questions, then we are good for today, ladies and gents. I'm going to stay in the chat for just a few. But if anything comes up outside of this, shoot me an email, shoot me a message, and we should be good. Right? So unless I have you for mentoring, I will see you all again next Tuesday. Please have a safe and fun break and enjoy. And I'll see you then. All right. Thank you, guys. All right, y'all. If you guys are good, I'm going to go ahead and end the chat unless there's any last minute questions. I can have a safe and fun break. Stay healthy. And I'll see you again next Tuesday. Okay. If you know that you are behind, if you joined us for the first time today, then please don't be afraid to come to the Summit Lab. All right. So, like, a few of you in here right now know that that may apply to you. I will be in there from 1 to 3. All right, y'all. Thank you guys again. Have a good break. Okay. See you.